It's morning again, everyone. I hope we're still in the morning, which I believe we are. As they've introduced me, I'm Molato Pakwaho, a firstborn to a very, I think, humble parents, and I'm a founder of Oriolo Studios, which is one of the reasons I wake up every morning and I do me, because that is what I love and that is me, right? And then I was shocked when they actually invited me here, because, well, not shocked for the invite, but when they asked me to come and speak. But I believe, having spent time with John from the very first time when we met at school, they know me. Talking, it's what I do every day. So, and to be honest, today it's one of my businesses. What I do is I talk on behalf of brands and businesses, and I make money out of that. And I'll take you there. But just a short story about myself, because I'm not much of a motivational speaker, a business person. I just like telling my story and believing that someone somewhere somehow will listen and find an inspiration and pick something that could take them from where they are to another and a better level, right? So I was born in Ganchabeleng. I grew up there. We moved around a lot, and then went to a boarding school, came to the University of Johannesburg to study film and television production. And to be honest, when I actually knew from a very young age, and this is a story that still shocked a lot of people, I knew from a very young age that I want to work in the TV industry. The thing that I didn't know is that I am going to work behind the scenes. I actually thought I was going to be behind in front of the cameras. So I'm a performer, and people are still pushing me to say, please go and act. Please, people don't know you can act. People don't know you can do this. And surprisingly, I'm a shy person. So being shy doesn't mean you cannot perform, because when it's your craft, when you get into that zone, you forget about the world and then you do you. So that is me. Once I start doing that, then I forget who's around me. I follow what I feel inside, and I give it to the world. So I remember the very first time when I performed, my parents, because they knew this guy is very shy, then there was a lady who was graduating in our village, and then we decided, let's do a graduation drama around her, around her graduation, and let it be about education. I remember the drama was called Education is the Key to Success, and I was the main character there. And shockingly, they didn't say you're going to be the main character. They just said you're going to play a character called Mr. Kolobe. And then me playing that Mr. Kolobe, I was going to be a teacher. And then, alright, no, it's okay. You're welcome. So playing that character, I was going to be a teacher. They just said you're going to be Mr. Kolobe, and then this are your lines, and this is what you're going to say. Then I got my lines. We rehearsed for I think a week or so. Every day we would meet at my home with everyone who's playing the drama, rehearse. And when I was rehearsing, I would just speak normally, and I would just go whatever that I needed to say, and they would be like, oh, you know your lines, you look cool. So I told my father and my mother that, please come and watch me perform, because I'm going to shock you. And they said, come on, we know you. You're going to be shy. You're going to disappoint everyone there. But it's a feeling. It's something that I knew from inside, that no one is actually expecting this from me. From on that day, from how I dressed, then everyone was like, hey man, where is this character coming from? And then I said, watch until we go there. And then we got to the person's place, and then they called in the drama. Then came my part. When I played, I was so shocked when everyone kept quiet, and when I finished performing, they all clapped hands and said, wow. Then my parents fortunately were there, my mother even cried, and she couldn't believe it. She said, if you can do this, then what more can what more don't we know about you? Then I said, this is what I love, this is what I enjoy, and when I'm in this zone, this is what I do best. And then fast forward, I went to a boarding school. So at school, grade 8, I would tell people that, you know, that I can perform. Then they'll say, okay, why not do drama here at school? Then I said, no, I can't do drama. I'm waiting for the right moment that I feel people are going to give me the attention that I feel I deserve, and I'll shock everyone. Sharp, fast forward, matric. Actually, grade 11. Grade 11, that's when I felt people needed to hear me and see what I'm capable of. And there was a drama by Chico Twala. There was a story, actually a movie by Chico Twala called Molato. Sinyaka was the main character there. There was a guy who was a translator, so to say, in that movie. And then we redid that movie, but for a stage performance. And I was that guy who was translating. And, well, that character is funny in that movie, but I gave it another feel, something that people didn't know. When I went to stage, teachers know me to be that shy guy, the guy who's always shy. My parents knew I was shy. And then when we got to stage, I killed again the character. I remember they were giving awards. It was an arts and culture day, so giving awards, they had to give the best actor an award. So everyone, when they said the best actor, everyone called out my name. And then, unfortunately, I didn't win it that year. And then people went to the staff room and said, no, but what you did is really unfair. That guy was supposed to take the award. And I said to everyone, no, don't interfere. It is not my time yet. My time will come. And I said, in matric, I'll make sure I do another drama, and the best actor would go to me. Matric, I did another drama, and then I took the best actor, and for the first time the school has never given anyone a gold trophy from the principal's office. And shockingly, the principal came to me and said, I feel now I deserve to open my cabinet and give you this trophy. And then it happened. And then one of the teachers went home. She was from home. She went and told my parents that this kid is full of miracles, and I think you guys still don't even know him, because what he did there at school, it's actually amazing and shocking. And my parents called me, and that was in grade 11 when I did my first drama. I remember my mother called me and said, Murutwazo, how are you? Then I'm like, where did you hear that? And she's like, we heard about what you did. And then I said, yeah, well, that's me. Then it became my name. Fast forward, while I was doing matric, which it started in grade 11, I started navigating through this industry and wanting to understand how can I become what most people are not, right? And I discovered that besides people being in front of the cameras, there are people who work behind the cameras, and those are your crew, your directors, your scriptwriters, and so forth. And then I started wanting to know what each of them do. And just like any other filmmaker or potential filmmaker, John can confirm that we all believe becoming a director is the it thing. So I said I want to become a director. And then I went to school, studied that. And fast forward, John, we talk every day. So what I discovered about myself is that I didn't enjoy directing, so to say, because every time we had a project, I knew what a director has to do, and I could not do that. So I had to say to people like John, to people like Hendrik and everyone, and say, guys, I believe in you guys and what you're doing. It's something that I want to do, but I cannot do it. But I know I can do producing. So why not you guys focus on directing and I produce? And everyone that I've worked with will confirm that every time I'm on a project, I'm producing that, it does happen. And it's one thing that I live by, that when you start something, start it to finish it. Because I believe failure, it's when you start and you do not complete what you started. So even if you fall on the way of completing that, then you rising up and still running to the finish line makes you a winner. And one motto that I live by is that I do not count how many times I lose. What I count is my wins, and those are what motivates me, or this is what motivates me to always want to get to the next better level, right? So I'll talk about what I've done so far and how I've shocked myself as well. So when I started my own company, because I told my parents before I even finished school that I don't believe in going to work, and they said, why? I said, because you guys have done it, your parents have done it. Can't I change this chain? Can I not be different? And my mother would confirm this, because from a young age I've always wanted to do what most people are not doing. So I said, I mean, that's what everyone is doing. Can I be different and still follow what I love, but not do it how other people are doing it? And they said, how? I said, I'm not going to work. They said, no, that's madness. You have to go and work, because we believe we've paid for school fees. Now it's time you go and earn your own money. And then I finished. I told them again, I'm done, I'm not going to work. They said, no, it's madness. You have to go to work. And somehow they put pressure on me. I ended up finding a job. And shockingly, every time I do an interview, I would mention to whoever is interviewing me that you must be aware that I have a company, and I'm going to be running this company while I'm working here, and please let me know if you're comfortable with that. And my very first and last employer said, no, it's fine. And then they gave me a contract. Unfortunately, in the contract, because I like reading, I want to know what I'm getting myself into. There was a clause that said, you can do whatever you want to do, but not during our time. And because I had already told my parents that I got a job, then I signed, I gave it to the boss, and then I started working. At some point, I told my boss that, okay, he would find me doing my own work during his time. Then he'd say, but what you're doing here is really unfair, because your contract doesn't allow you to do this. Then I said, but I've done all that you said I must do. Then what must I do next? Must I sit and just watch everyone working, or must I keep myself busy? And if this is me being busy, can you allow me? For the first time, he allowed me. So what would shock him was that we had, I was leading the media team. So we had deadlines. They would put a deadline on Friday or next week, but I would always make sure that if the deadline is Friday, by Tuesday we are done. If it's next week, this week we are done. I always make sure that things are done very efficiently and very professionally. So what would upset him was that I'm doing the job diligently, but the problem is I'm doing it so that I can have time to do my own things. Then one day they called me into their office and said, it's not going to work. You're going to have to choose if you're going to run your company or you're going to work for us. And I think that's when reality hit me, and I went back to who I am, because I had lost myself in that and I was compromising a lot. Then that night I told a friend of mine that tomorrow I'm going to quit my job and I'm never going to work again, because I do not want this. And then he tried to convince me. I called my parents. I said, I'm very sorry. I'm going to quit my job. They tried to convince me. I said, but there is no way I'm going back on this. I don't want this. And not that I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. I'm enjoying it. But I believe I can still do this on my own and be able to empower other people. And I believe my life is a story that can motivate somebody to want to do what they love and do it greatly so. And they said, okay, it's fine. I quit my job. Believe me, quitting my job didn't mean their success is going to follow you now. Then it became the most challenging and the most... I tell people every day that business is the best school I've ever been to, because every day you learn and you become a very different person. Just last year I was telling my mother that if I did not die in 2017, if you didn't hear people say your son committed suicide, please just know that there is nothing in this life that's ever going to defeat me, because I think I've touched all that I needed to touch, and now it's my time to be the best that I am. So back again in 2015, I asked my parents to buy me a camera. I said, can you please buy me a camera? I want to do something. That's before I went to work. Then they bought me a camera. I took that camera. 2 friends of mine, I told them, I just bought a camera. Can you please come and see it? I want to take pictures of you guys. And then they came and said, then what are you going to do with this camera? I said, this camera, it's actually going to make me be well known and become the greatest. They said, how? I said, I don't have to explain because it's not going to make sense. But please follow my story and tell people what I'm telling you now. And then they did. First thing I did, I took a list of all your celebrities you can think of. And knowing that I'm good at talking to people, I sent them emails. I said, this is what I want to do. I want to take pictures of you. I normally charge this much, but we can negotiate for a 50% at least. And then you give me the exposure that I need. I give you professional pictures. That time, I had never taken pictures of anyone before. So that was me knowing that I can do this and I know I'm capable. And then again, one thing that was shocking was that I actually sent these emails before I even bought the camera. I told them I have a camera, I'm going to take professional pictures of you and you pay me like this, and then I give you the pictures. So another thing is that people don't know that I sent more than 100 emails to every celebrity you can know or think of, but only less than 10 came back to me, and 5 I think approved my shoot. So when people started seeing my pictures, they were like, wow, the guy has now arrived. But here's one thing that we don't know. I believe behind every successful story, the failures are countless. We just don't know, and we get motivated by the wins that we see people walking through, and we believe that, wow, these guys are doing quite well. And for the wrong reasons, some quit their jobs, some decide, I also want to start my own construction company because this guy is doing it. But what we don't know is that behind his success, the failures are countless. So that is what I learned from the very beginning, that this is actually going to be a very tough journey. Because look how many people I've emailed, and look, I only got 5. But that helped me because it built a profile. And I knew that taking those pictures, I'm going to start a website. And if my website has celebrities on it, then if I meet a normal person like you, you're going to have to pay a lot because I've done it with celebrities. So that's what I did. And from there, people started paying me for my photography services. And then people started asking, but didn't you study film and TV product? Why photography? And then I didn't feel the need to explain because I had already told 2 people that this photography, it's actually going to take me where I want to be, which is behind the scenes and run a very successful production company. And then from the photography, now happened that there's a guy called Ifani who's a musician. So knowing myself, every day I always have an idea of what to do and who to talk to. Every day I have a plan as to tomorrow this is what I have to do, tomorrow this is what I have to finish, and these are my deadlines. If I don't do it by this time, then it means I have failed myself and I need to come up with a plan to make sure that I accomplish this. Then one day, I remember I was still in Brixton, I was staying that side, so I'm typing an email, I'm sending it to many other potential clients. You can think of your Zonkes, your Ifanis, your Boiti, your Bonang. I'm speaking to those people. And then what made me to keep on doing it is because I know a lot of people are sending this celebrities emails, but they're not getting the response. But I was shocked when I got the response. And one day, I spoke to a friend of mine and I said, you know, this thing surprises me because I know people who are speaking to these people and they're crying that we're actually not getting any response. So it again reminded me that, Molato, remember you're a producer. You know how to approach and convince people to become part of a team. You know how to handle a project. You know how to lead. You know how to show people an end result without even having a picture of that. So in words, I can easily do that. And then I spoke to them. One day, I was sitting down at my place and I tell the guy I'm staying with, I'm like, I want to speak to Ifani. I think where he is now, I can transform and add to what he's trying to accomplish, because what I do is I follow their social medias and what they post every day, and I get to understand where they are at that moment. And then I got to understand that his image is actually downgrading, and I can actually play a part in that. And I said, let me just go and send him an email now. I went and sent an email, and then I put my contacts there, and then left. When I was about to sit down, my phone rang, and then I didn't know this number, and I'm like, hello? And then it's like, Ifani speaking here. Am I speaking to Molato? Then I said, yes. He said, I got your email just now. When can we meet? I said, let's meet tomorrow. He said, yeah, tomorrow, where do you stay? I told him where I stayed. He said, tomorrow I'm shooting at Club 808, so can you come there? It's in Melville. Let's do this thing. I said, okay. And then I told him, this is how I work, this is how much you have to pay. He said, fine, I'm going to do that. Then, from Ifani, that's where, and here's what he said to me, which I believe it's God. He said to me that what you feel inside and what you see and believe every day, it's what's going to come to you. And he said, do you know that we did not meet because you wanted me, but it's because we both actually had that in mind, and it was time that we had to meet and do this. I said, I believe that. And then Ifani introduced me to his team, the PR lady, the makeup, and all those. And then she said, he's going to become part of our team now. Let's work. And then we worked. I believe Ifani had his own ideas and how he wanted to do things. Then at some point we had to part ways. We are still in good terms though, but he just decided that it's fine, let me stop it for now, and then when I'm ready to take it again, we'll do it again. We said fine. He parted ways with the PR company, myself, and everyone who was part of it. Shockingly, that was the introduction of me to the big things now. From there, I got a call. I was told that I'm going to shoot the summers. I was told that the summers are happening, and this was last year, early last year, around March, and they told me, you're going to be doing the summers, you are the official photographer there. I said yes, and then they told me about Le Tambulu and Kefa Seminya. They said, you're going to do those. While I was still working on that, Drum got hold of me. They said, we have an event in Beggarsford. It was Tovela FM Gospel Festival. They told me who was going to be there. You are the official photographer there. The Chibuku media launch happened. I was told I have to come there. So many, I think there are countless that just came. Your Zonke, I remember they also got hold of me and started saying, we want to work with you. When Donnie McLaren came here last year, I was the official photographer for their rehearsals and his performance there. Then that is when I confirmed that everything that I've always wanted has happened. And because I always have it in my mind, and because I always believe, it has happened. But again, that didn't mean, Molato, you have arrived, you've done it. Still, I came across a lot of challenges because I knew this is not where I want to be. I actually want to do more than this. And like I said, I want to run a successful production company, and I don't feel it is successful at that time. So I needed to work harder. And working harder means a lot of rejections. A lot of people say, no, 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 we don't want you. But again, I get reminded that you don't have any other that you know better. This is what you know, and this is what you do best. What you have to do is just improve on what you're doing, and then do it better again. And then that's what I live by. When something knocks me down, I just get up and do it again until I win. So, in closing, this is what happened lately. I took my phone, I saw the Limpopo Music Awards, and I'm like, this brand, let me just, because that's what I do every day. I do research. So I look at brands, I study them, I look at people, I study them. So I look at the Limpopo Music Awards last year, December. I'm like, this brand, it's very successful and it's our very own. And I believe I can add something here, but I need to find what is it that I can put in. I investigated, I saw their sponsors there. And then after seeing their sponsors, I'm like, but they don't have that big sponsor. It's still people that I believe anyone can get hold of. Who can I bring here? And then I started doing research on brands that I believe they match what Limpopo Music Awards is. And then I met Chibuku because I've done their media launch. And then 3 years ago, I was speaking to King Corn. I don't know if any of you know King Corn that sells Mabele and all those. So it used to be a big brand back then. And then I saw that 3 years ago, I was speaking to them because I wanted them to sponsor something. And they have been ignoring me. Then I said, okay, let me speak to King Corn. Shockingly, it just happened. From one person to another, I spoke to King Corn. And King Corn is going to be sponsoring the Limpopo Music Awards, and they're looking to becoming the title sponsor there. So the guy that I mostly spend my time with, TK, he got shocked and said, but Molato, if you can do this, then what more again can you do? I said to him that in life, and this is the main message that I want to say to everyone. In life, when you fail, when things do not happen as you plan, it's not because you have failed. It's because it is not your time as yet. You are not ready at that moment. You are not supposed to have it at that time. So I call it the circles of life, because circles of life I always integrate it with our seasons, the 4 seasons that we have. So as much as we might enjoy summer because it's warm, it's all those, but doesn't mean summer is going to be there forever. And we must always be prepared for autumn. We must always be prepared for winter. So, and when you are in winter not enjoying that, doesn't mean summer is not going to come. So those are the circles of life that I believe when things are not happening, you just have to be patient, and whatever that you failed on, get up, do it again, and then your time is coming, because this is life. It has its own circles, and then in the right time it's going to touch you. So I believe that is Molato, and I hope my story inspires someone. Thank you very much.